The Seven Spiritual Laws for Parents, written by Deepak Chopra. We are into the part two, practicing the spiritual laws. This is day two of spiritual law. That is Monday. Monday is the day of giving. Today, we tell our children, if you want to get something, give it. On Monday, we agree as parents to do the following things with our children. First, invite them to give one thing to someone else in the family. And second, inspire them to receive graciously. Third, share a brief ritual of gratitude for life's gifts. The practice is starting here, masters, and it starts with a quote. If you would take, you must first give, said by Lao Tzu. On this day, we pay attention to ways we can give to others because there is no giving without receiving. We complete the cycle by paying attention to receiving as well. Giving is thus seen as constant movement, the circulation of everything in creation. Creating anything implies taking some seed or inspiration and giving birth to it. In this, giving the seed grows, the fruit multiply, and the inspiration finds form. Spiritually, success depends on following the laws that govern nature's workings, and giving is among the most valuable. Many spiritual masters have thought, as the modern yogi Shivananda puts it, that giving is the secret of abundance. There is no mystery to this. It has always been true that to get love, you must first give it. And God always gives all things from love. When we give, we show our understanding to the truth of the truth that Spirit is the giver of all. It's not always easy to resist the urge to take and hoard. These tendencies are born from ignorance of spiritual law. Children love to give, and if they start not to give, that is a reflection of the attitudes they see in us. Even a grown up who constantly says, learn to share, be good, and give your little brother some, be a good girl, and you will get something nice, may still be communicating a deeper level, her own gnawing fear of lack and scarcity and ego's needs to possess and hold on. The deep seated belief defeat the spirit of giving. Devoting this day to giving is far more important than what you give in material terms. Masters, this is one of the very important spiritual laws. We unknowingly, many of us, go into that lack consciousness, hoarding something, and especially when we have a financially unstable background in our childhood, we tend to hold that lack consciousness. Even if we give, we don't get, sometimes that will not be in a wholehearted way. Here, masters, the author is saying, when we give it with love, when we give and when we receive it. So the cycle starts with giving and receiving graciously too. And how? With an intention that, with that understanding that the Spirit is the giver of all. That is the truth. That understanding must be there. And going forward in this book, Masters, when children love to give, even when we say share, our words would be share, give it to them. But they would actually learn from how we are, right? So when we say share, but when we don't give with wholeheartedness, they also follow that. They don't share. So how to communicate? Let's see. Monday with the children. Except for very youngest children, Monday is a school day. So we discuss the law of giving at breakfast and dinner. At breakfast, We set the agenda for the day. At dinner, we all share what we have accomplished and learned. The same holds true for all the other laws that fall on weekdays. But remember, the minutes of silence that are practiced on Sunday gets repeated every day. During the times in the morning and afternoon, when you do your own meditation, the three activities for Monday involve giving to someone else in the family, receiving graciously, and performing a brief ritual of gratitude. So, Masters, the author is saying, so for Monday, mostly that would be a school day. So, start in the breakfast, start discussing about in this subject during the breakfast, or remember the minutes of silence that are practiced on Sunday, right, is repeated every day. That means the minimum amount of meditation time is must every day. Apart from that, we are changing the activities here. Today, the Monday, the activities are giving something to something else to the family member, receiving graciously, and performing a brief ritual of gratitude. And this is the activity for Monday. Now let's see every activity with the information, with the wisdom of the author. Make it a practice as a family to have every member give something to someone else. These gifts should not be elaborately planned or worked over. Remembering to give a smile, a word of encouragement, or help with the chores is natural and simple. It is also what is likely to last. For simple giving within the home cultures, the desire to serve. Success is combined with fulfillment when there is an ample aspect of service in it. Some families find that a big problem can develop over this issue of giving, sharing, and serving. Children naturally want to give. It is unfortunate that the people who thoughtlessly repeat the statement, children are born selfish. Selfishness results from a young child not yet understanding how things actually work. To a very young child, letting go of a toy is the same as losing it permanently. Grabbing a piece of candy is natural response because a young child doesn't yet realize that there is more than one piece and that the one can be shared. Observing my own children when they were young, I found that their faces lit up when they had the opportunity to give, and not because they thought they would receive anything in return. We begin to doubt that the universe will return things to us only after our minds get imprinted by fear, lack, abandonment, and greed. Without these imprints, it is obvious that life is a flow of infinite things, some material, some not. How much did anyone have to pay for the air, rain, and sunlight that sustain our life? People who forget how to give have reverted to a primitive state of consciousness. They believe that if they let go of something, it is gone forever. They forget that we receive anything only because the universe wants us to experience its inner significance for ourselves. In every getting, there is a spiritual lesson. Mere possessions are no substitute for the satisfaction, contentment, and inner fulfillment that are meant to go with them. You should concentrate with your children, on how it feels to give. To make sure that the feeling is pleasurable, first treat giving as sharing. Even a 3 or 4-year-old can feel how nice it is to give a friend one piece of candy if she has two. Okay. Older children can be taught to give less tangible things, such as a smile, a kind of word, or help to someone in need. Set these as goals for the day and then discuss how things went at dinner. So, Masters, The author is asking us to understand that naturally the children like to give. They feel the joy of giving and sharing and playing. When we impose our imprints on them, then they feel the otherwise. Till then, kids are naturally happy when they give. Immediately, when you feel, when a child gives a chocolate or a toy, immediately when the parent vibrates with an energy, oh, he has given the toy, will he return it, or will he cry, will the other boy cry when he is leaving? When we vibrate those energies, the child will absorb it and will not be happy sharing. And later in the public, when we say share the toy, they feel they feel the lack. They feel that if I give the toy, it will be gone. So it is they build on the imprints what we impose on that child. So the author is saying, without that imprints, let if we observe, naturally we have everything in abundance, sunlight, air, and everything is in abundance. When we know that everything is in abundance and we start giving with smile and love, and when we know it's the natural process, that's when our children will learn. And here, author also says that start uh, concentrating and how pleasure, how joyful it is to give. Discuss that with children, and as an activity, ask them if it is 3 or 4 years, like children who are below 6 years, you can ask them to give a materialistic thing, anything, any material, chocolate toy, or favorite blanket, or favorite toy, anything, to one person within the family that day. Joyfully share it. And if it is an older child, ask them to give a comforting word, a kind word, a smile, or something very less tangible things. So when that is done, initiate the discussion during breakfast or the previous night. So I would suggest to do it during the breakfast, morning times. That means if we have to do that, we would first plan our day properly. Then we can have time for discussing in during the breakfast. Okay, masters, let's carry on. With children aged 12 and above, the emphasis changes yet again. They are old enough to learn to give when it is not easy, when one is tempted to withhold or to be selfish. It is at this age that you can talk about how holding on causes pain to the heart and makes others see one as selfish. Learning to give praise to the winner of a game you have just lost, to treat outsiders with kindness and include them in your clique, and to offer help with tact and a lack of self importance are all appropriate lessons for the older children. So, for the older children, teach them how it is painful to hold things back and to become selfish. It is how they can understand that being selfish will not be helpful in their life, and that the kindness, and treat outsiders with kindness. And when even if they lost their game, ask them to be kind, and being less self-important and appropriate. These are the appropriate lessons for the older children. Now, the activity 2. To receive graciously is an art that cannot be faked. It is more blessed to give than to receive. It is much harder to receive than to give. We receive ungraciously out of pride, feeling that we don't need anyone's handouts, or charity, or out of some sense of discomfort. These are all ego reactions, and There is no need to have them once you realize that the giver is never the giver, just as the receiver is never the receiver. Both stand in for spirit. Wonderful masters, here, graciously receiving is an art. Many lack this art of receiving. We go help others, but when others come to our house, we say, stop. It's okay, you don't. And kids observe it. We even if it is money or help, when we when we take the help with discomfort, even that is not receiving graciously, and children learn from that. So, masters, we have to understand both the sides. Both stand in for spirit, the receiver and the giver. Both are the spirit. Every breath we take is a gift. And in that realization, we see that receiving from another person is a symbol of receiving from God. Every gift is a gesture of love that stands in for divine love and should be received as much as such. With younger children, this isn't a problem. They love to receive and have no difficulty lighting up with gratitude. At later ages, the onset of ego needs clouds the issue somehow. So we have all experienced the grudging thank you forced out of a child's mouth by a parent when no gratitude is present. This attitude can be changed only by having your children continue to pay attention to how it feels to receive. If attention is paid from an early age, the natural warmth and happiness of receiving will not fade. Any person at any age must feel grateful in order to show gratitude. Such feelings can be supported by teaching that all things come from the universal source. Every time we receive, we are given a glimpse of divine love. However, that love happens to be acting through at the moment. So when we receive, we have to we can teach the children to receive graciously by asking them to pay attention while they're receiving it. When they receive, ask them to pay attention to their feelings when they receive. And instead of just forcing them to say thank you, we can ask how they feel. And with that warmth, they will feel the gratitude and say thanks. And that would be a habit for them. That will naturally happen for them. And that's part of love. That's part of divine love acting through that moment. Now, the activity third. Three. A ritual of gratitude shared by the whole family is a nice way to acknowledge the gift of life. You might hold hands at the dinner table and give thanks, but not just for the food on the table, but for all that has been given that day. Each family member mentioned one thing, such as, I'm thankful for the beautiful butterfly I saw on the way home from the school. I'm thankful we are all well and happy. I give thanks for getting a part in the school play, and so on. The- In many families, the ritual of saying blessing has grown stale, and the holiday of Thanksgiving has all has all but dwindled into meaninglessness. To reverse this takes conscious effort with emphasis on conscious. It takes awareness to remember that life is a gift, however overwhelmed we may be by other thoughts and pursuits. The joy and enthusiasm you can feel for the spirit reflects back onto you. Masters, hear the power of gratitude. While during the dinner or when you meet, you can take time. Please say the gratitude for anything as a family you want. Like you can start opening up, first opening the conversation with paying gratitude for the food or to your husband or to the manager or to your children. That's a very good way to open, like appreciating them for what and for the chores they have done. And ask your kid to come up with their gratitude. See, the author has given so much beautiful, simple examples. Thankful for the butterfly they have seen in the school. Thankful that they're happy. They're thankful that they can play a part in school. So much simple, simple things. Like we are teaching the kids indirectly that we are gratitude for everything happening in our life and don't miss the small, small things. Life's greatest pleasure is the smallest things we have. So, masters, this is the day two practice, and there are three activities in it. The first one being invite them to give one thing to someone else in the family. The second activity is to inspire them to receive graciously, like asking them to pay attention while they receive. And third activity is to have a gratitude. Okay, masters. Thank you.